I'm Mark Ludwig, Executive Director of the Terezin Music Foundation. It is an honor to welcome you to a rather extraordinary Holocaust Memorial Concert program. In this period of isolation, a remarkable group of artists, clergy, and Holocaust survivors reach out to us from their homes. I hope this film will serve as a source of comfort and inspiration.
Bergen-Belsen, Majdanek, Treblinka, Ghetto Varsha, וכל מוצא הרג, והשמדה אירופה. שכולנו כל ישראל מסייחנים עם זיכרון הקדוש ומספללים ועל עליות נשמו שיחת בכם.
I'm Rabbi Andy Vogel from Temple Sinai in Brookline, Massachusetts. Our congregation owns this special Yom Hashoah menorah, which has 6 branches for the 6 million Jews who perished in the night of the Shoah. It's a miniature replica of an enormous statue that stands on the grounds of the Yad Vashem Holocaust Museum in Jerusalem. I'm going to be lighting the menorah and then reciting the special Yom Hashoah Kaddish Yatom. in memory of all those who perished in the night of the Holocaust. Yitgadal Auschwitz, V'yitkadash Lodz, Shemei Rabbah, Ponar, Be'alma Divra Chirute Babiyar, V'yamlich Malchute, Majdanek, B'chayechon Uvyomechon Birkenau, Uvchaye Dechol Beit Yisrael, Kovno, Ba'agala Uvizman Kariv, Yanovska, V'imru Amen. Yehe Shmei Rabbah Mevarach Le'alam Ulalme Almaya, Yitbarach V'yishtabach, Terezinstadt, V'yitpa'ar V'yitromam, Buchenwald, V'yitnaseh V'yithadar, Treblinka, V'yitale V'yithalal, Vilna, Shmei Dekudesha, Bergen-Belsen, Berichu Le'ela, Mauthausen, Min Kol Birchata V'shirata, Dachau, Tushbechata V'nechmata, Minsk, Dalmiran Be'alma, Warsaw, V'imru, Amen. Yehe Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chayim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. Oseh Shalom B'imromav, U'ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. May their memories be for blessing.
Between 1933 and 1945, 15 to 20 million people were imprisoned in over 42,000 Nazi camps and ghettos. On May 8, 1945, the Terezin concentration camp was the last to be liberated. To mark the 70th anniversary of the liberation, I asked 63 poets from 27 countries to create new works exploring the idea of freedom. Their beautiful poetry provide texts for new Terezin Music Foundation commissions. Here is U.S. presidential inaugural poet Richard Blanco reciting Leaving Limerick in the Rain.
Leaving Limerick in the Rain, a letter to Ireland. Dear Caroline, I have no exact reason to miss you, your city, nor this island of yours. Like everything, like nothing I had imagined. The plentiful wisdom of so much silver rain, softening rock, spreading across pillows of green hills, rolling past the train's window, leaving Limerick after only a few days of knowing you and my life with your kin. Teaching myself by teaching them to trust a poem's imagery, hear it as music, enough to mend what we ourselves rend apart. I smiled your smile, answering me, no, lad, limericks didn't come from here. Yet I felt poetry everywhere, in the brooding walls of King John's castle against your gray sky, in the daring of a few rays of sunlight each day striking the steel and glass of my hotel, in the granite sparkle of sidewalks solid underfoot on our daily lunchtime strolls to dunes for bacon and pears, also bread to court the seagulls gathered every afternoon by the river Shannon, its tidal ebb and flow a recurring dream, you noticed, reminding me to remember and forget myself twice each day. Why should your home be home to me? My eyes belong to another sea, my feet to another island, Cuba, where rain falls differently. Yet the stranger on the train across the aisle could be my mother, pulling turquoise yarn from a tote bag on the floor, like a faithful dog sitting beside her swollen ankles. Her long needles a soft, rhythmic wetting of steel against steel, could be a cello in her spotted hands that don't remember or need her anymore. To make what? Socks for her granddaughter, another sweater for her far-away son, a vest for her dead husband. Only she knows what she misses, what is, was, or will be home to her. Knows the sorrow in her every stitch as much as the joy pulled from each loop she pearls. Beside her, a bearded man sleeps. His furrowed brow and bony hands tell a story like the broken spine of the book face down on his lap, parted to words he couldn't finish. Too droll or terrifying for him, perhaps. I wonder if his eyes are green as ferns or brown as dirt, if they're dreaming of tigers or moonlight echoes or the timbre of his father's voice. I wonder if he's leaving home or returning. Maybe he's a stranger like me, among strangers between points on the earth to which these tracks are nailed. Where am I? Where am I going? It doesn't matter. What matters is the poem in the window, a blurred watercolor where tree is chimney, chimney is cloud, cloud is brick, brick is puddle, puddle is rain, and rain is me, refracted in each luscious bead. How free and impossible to be everything inside everything I see. How terribly beautiful, never having to say I'm from here or there, never recalling my childhood home where I played checkers alone, or the royal palms lining the street where I learned to ride my bike, or my mango-scented backyard catching fireflies like stars in glass jars, or my bedroom where I first heard my voice say, Richard, my name breaking me from the world suddenly broken into geography, history, weather, language, war. I would like to die twice, Caroline. once to feel that last breath flood my body, then come back to tell of life not pulled apart, not dimensioned, a seamless mass at light speed before the dead stop of the train at 3:05, before the man wakes up, closes his book, forgets or vows to live his dream, before the woman stuffs her needles into her bag, stands up, sighs into the ache of her feet, before everything becomes itself again, brick into brick, tree into tree, cloud into cloud, puddle into puddle, me into me, standing on the platform, knowing Pavesi was right. You need a village, if only for the pleasure of leaving it, and someday returning to it, to your city, to you, and the rain we shared. I wrote this poem shortly after returning from Limerick, Ireland, where I spent 2 weeks reading and teaching poetry. I was struck by an intense bond I formed there with the people, partly due to my own experiences as a child of exiles and our shared experiences having to do with loss and longing, separation. Consequently, I began thinking that one particular dimension of liberation is to recognize our shared humanity across cultures, histories, and nations, to shed those divisions of prejudice that isolate us with fear, hate, and violence, and instead to freely give in to the oneness of everything and everyone.
More than 30 years ago, I held the original manuscript of Gideon Klein's String Trio, a masterpiece he composed in a Terezin concentration camp. Klein, Hans Grasse, Pavel Haas, and Victor Ullmann were composers who had promising careers before their incarceration. I'm still overwhelmed by the beauty and power of their music created amidst death and deprivation. You will hear the second movement of Klein's String Trio, arranged for string chamber orchestra. This heartbreaking movement is a set of variations on a Moravian folk song his nanny sang to him when he was a child. The song tells of a goose shot by a hunter. Falling to earth, she worries about the fate of her babies. This last work of Klein was completed just days before his transport to Auschwitz in October of 1944. Gideon Klein died in late January 1945, just weeks after his 25th birthday.
We had heard the rumors from typhoid fever in the camp. When my stools became watery and I felt weak and faint, we knew that I had to go to the infirmary whether I feared it or not. I don't remember actually going there. I must have become comatose. I remember most vividly the tiny closet-sized cubicle that I shared with another young girl who had tuberculosis. I don't know why I was taken into this privileged spot. In retrospect, it may have been because of my appearance. Without hair and being small and skinny, I looked very young. I recall many people who were kind to me in Parshnitz. Of all the people who was kind, I remember the nurse of the infirmary. She was a red-haired, middle-aged woman who was feared by everyone because it was her job to take the SS doctors to the bedside of the women whom she considered incurable. These women were sent back to Auschwitz to be gassed. Auschwitz was a labor camp and did not have the facility for extermination. But this same woman was hiding me from the possibility of a selection. These were the riddles of camp life. I witnessed only one selection in the infirmary. One night I saw two SS officers come in and flashing their lights as they pulled the covers over from the women. The women must have been too scared to scream. It was a quick, matter-of-fact procedure. When I began to feel better and I was no longer at risk to be sent back to Auschwitz, I was moved into the big hall. Mother came to the infirmary almost every night. I looked forward to the few minutes of her visits. I worried about her a great deal because she looked very skinny and was very tired all the time. I knew I was getting better because my diarrhea had stopped and I was very hungry again. When mother came, we talked about the rumors she had heard about the war. We were discouraged when the rumors had it that Budapest was still under German occupation. This was January 1945, close to my 18th birthday. But more than anything, we talked about food. I remember telling her that it was strange that at this time I was thinking less about homemade bread and more about fresh fruit. I kept thinking about apples and tomatoes, promising myself never to slice them again, as I so badly wanted to bite into one of them. These were foolish fantasies. We were in the middle of a cold winter, in the middle of what felt an endless war. But miracles do happen. Somehow my mother found the core of an apple. She found it, I believe, on the street close to the camp on the way back from the train, which we took every day to the factory. She saved the core of the apple for my birthday. And what a present that was. There were a few good bites left on the core. I wanted her to share it with me, but she insisted that it was my birthday and I ate it all. I still love apples more than any other fruit. My family often teases me how I eat an apple with such relish. I always eat all of it No part is left thrown away. But what my family may not realize is that I'm looking forward to eat the core, that I love the core of the best. Eating it always raises my spirits and renews my belief in miracles.
בביאת המשיח אני מאמין בביאת המשיח בביאת המשיח אני מאמין אני בביאת המשיח אני מאמין. בביאת המשיח, בביאת המשיח אני מאמין. אני מאמין, אני מאמין, אני מאמין באמונה שלמה בביאת המשיח, בביאת המשיח אני מאמין. בביאת המשיח, בביאת המשיח אני מאמין. מאמין.
Let me ask you, as a renowned performing artist, when you played the harpsichord, when you were playing music, was that a place of freedom? Was it
Absolutely.
a liberating? What was music? What is music for you? What was it for you?
Absolutely. Inner freedom. And that was so wonderful because we had this together with Victor Calabis, the composer, and my husband. We always had this inner freedom. And if one of us started to lose hope, the other always said, but look here, let's sit down to the piano and play and get some inner freedom.
So music.
From music. But it's not only music, you know. I always say to the young people, I say, you have a bank account, which nobody can take from you. And those are the things you read, literature, art, music, drama, everything you saw which had some value. Because just amusement won't help you. But when you are really in a tight place, it need not be a prison. It could be a dramatic or a tragic situation in your life. You will need something where you can go and find your inner freedom. And this is something, when you will get into this situation and find that your bank account is null, you will despair.
Given these extraordinary times, Susanna's counsel to fill one's inner bank account is a poignant reminder of the power of music, art, and literature to sustain us even in our darkest days. I want to thank everyone who so generously participated in this program and offered us all an opportunity for remembrance, comfort, and inspiration. Above all, we wish you all good health. Thank you.
So I know that I am here as the long living survivor, that I am speaking for so many who are not here, not able to express their gratitude and your love for what you have been doing. Thank you.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.